Hello, myself Sunil R Nair. Here, basically, we are discussing about the topic that is the city creation. In city creation, basically, we are discussing about one topic that is uh, Microsoft blood cells, Ceph blood cells, Java blood cells, PHP blood cells, Python blood cells, Pascal, COBOL, mainframe, IBM. Like this, basically, there are many companies. Basically, they have their own blood cells. And this all basically works under operating system, and this operating system works under some set of computers basically that are Dell, HP, Compaq, Microsoft. Like this, basically many computers are also basically there. So people says that basically if software basically is connected with the physical location, so computer basically might be directly connected with the physical location. Then they say that yes, basically it might be possible that basically this might be connected with some universe location. That also basically is possibility is there basically, because one person told that basically whatever things basically you create in the earth planet, basically whatever things you create in the earth planet, that basically one day it has to reach, it basically is going to reach to universe basically. That is 100, that is 98% correct. It is going to reach basically after 100 years, 200 years, but it will reach basically. That is 100%, sorry, 98% correct, but it will reach basically. And it keeps on doing process, it keeps on doing process. Reason, energy never ends. Reason, planets never ends. Planets are connected with the energy, and energy basically are doing the process, and it's never ends. So this is that process basically, which will never end basically. So in this basically we are discussing about that. This basically Microsoft blood cells process with the other blood cells. Other blood cells means what basically? One of the person told that basically what do you mean by other blood cells? Other blood cells means iron blood cells are, which are basically created by nature. Then so whenever the Microsoft blood cells get created, it look after they have basically created the Microsoft iron blood cells also. Reason, whatever things basically naturally which is created, you have to create that basically. That's why basically Microsoft directly creates the cities only basically, so that basically everything comes into that basically. Whatever naturally basically it is created, when you create the city, that time basically everything comes into the picture basically. So that's why basically when it get merged with the other blood cells basically, that time basically it doesn't creates too much of problem basically. So whenever any blood, this company basically, for example this group basically, this group, whenever they are creating a blood cells, this group, when these groups are going to convert to the blood cells basically, they are 100% going to create energies basically in the environment basically. And they have to create one city at least basically. At least one city basically they have to create if they want to convert their blood cells. Sorry, they have to convert their software into blood cells basically. So one city means what basically? How much investment? Minimum 90,000 crore investment basically. So to create one city basically, what is the investment cost basically? One person asked the question basically. So minimum basically 90,000 crore basically. One person told that basically one house basically in Mumbai just cost 100 crore basically. One flat basically just cost 100 crore. So one building basically might be costing how much basically? That is very high rich apartment basically. So like this high rich apartment also basically will be there in the city basically. So that building itself cost basically around 30,000 to 40,000 crore minimum basically. I'm telling you. At least basically assume that 80,000, 90,000, 8,000 9,000 crore basically, that building is only going to go 100 crore, 200 crore, 300 crore, 500 crore, 600 crore, 700 crore, 800 crore, 900 crore, 1000 crore, this like this basically, 8,000 crore, 10,000 crore, 20,000 crore, 30,000, 40,000 crore. So that building basically itself cost that much amount basically. So you can just imagine the city creation basically. To create one mall basically, that how much cost basically? Minimum basically the 200 to 300 crore basically it costs basically. Minimum basically amount basically. So investment basically this is this much basically. If you create basically good level of mall basically, because you have to purchase the space, you have to invest the power company, you are going to create the future basically, what this basically, what actually mall is basically, that we have already discussed mall, what actually the mall do. Then basically the buildings are supposed to be created, the government has to give the approval for that basically, lots of things basically. You have to give this, you have to give one presentation that basically we are going to create this city, this much building will be there, and this city is going to generate this all human needs basically, and this all human needs basically is approved by the this all 100 countries basically, and this 100 countries is going to purchase this human needs, that is for example vegetable fruits basically is going to create by this city basically, so they are going to purchase this. So minimum expense, see the minimum basically the profit from this city basically will be 80,000 to 90,000 crore basically. So basically the creation basically is 90,000 crore basically of the city basically. Minimum basically I'm telling you basically. And the expense, when the city basically will convert to the human needs basically, then basically the entire expense basically will cover basically just in 1 or 2 months basically. So the government basically have to display the plan basically, that government see basically this is the city creation and this is going to merge with the hundreds of city, hundreds of country. Then government basically coordinates with that group basically. Directly basically government will never allow to the government, never allow the businessman to contact to that particular groups. So government only creates the city. The investment basically is just done by the businessman, and here the bank basically comes into the picture, that is the World Bank basically. They say that basically we have created one product basically for your city basically, because you have basically given the proposal basically, that how basically things are going to be created and how you are going to create the thing basically, both side basically is there. So like this the things are going to be created basically. So like this you can just imagine basically the things basically. So one of the person told that this is going to create basically, and like this basically things are going to create this, that basically everything basically they told. And at last basically they told that basically you can create the city basically, and the city approval basically came into the picture, and then the creation basically started. That is actually the human need creation started, and they are telling that basically we are going to give this many investments, 100 city basically are going to use, hundreds of country basically are going to use this all cities energy, then basically you have to approve it basically. So everything basically created, and then everything basically approved also. So like this basically each city basically created, each city base. So to create basically one city basically it's very difficult basically, it's not like that basically. So in these blood cells basically, one blood cells basically are there of this basically, and this, so one blood cells basically can get this many birth basically, and can die basically this many times basically. So this many multiply by this basically. So you can just imagine basically up to what level things going to reach basically. So next video basically we are going to say a little bit more about this.